First of all, the secret to any true frozen dinner is you never do it in the oven. That shit just takes too long.
No, you never.
Always got to do it. Like you put it in the oven for like maybe 90 minutes in total. Why not just put that motherfucker in the microwave for 90 seconds?
There it is.
A few more minutes, actually, a little bit longer.
And you get
it's not 90 seconds.
Just like it takes 1/10 of the time, you get 1/10 of the quality.
That's hilarious and so fucking true.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the quality, like, there's no amount, like, 90 minutes is not worth the investment. In the quality
the maximum quality that you'll get from a Hungry Man is not worth the 90 minutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is
Even,
it worth
yeah,
4
no, you're
minutes?
right. You're right.
Is it worth 4 minutes? Absolutely. Absolutely. The big question lingering in the air is Hungry Man fried chicken dinner 3-piece better than and this is so everybody knows 3 pieces of fried chicken, mashed potatoes, corn, and a brownie.
Can I say
You
one
got a brownie with it?
Can I say and ask one clarifying thing?
Sure.
I'll allow it.
Where the fuck did that question come from? Because I certainly didn't ask it.
Which question?
The one you just posed.
I can't remember. I can't remember where it came from, but it's here. The question, the answer to the question is, if Hungry Man fried chicken dinner is actually better than a Kentucky Fried Chicken dinner, and the answer, my friends, is no.
Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. Wow, critical analysis from Dilworth.
Thank you for listening. This has been the Purple Foundation.
This has been episode 3 of The Real Colonel.
So keeping it real on the Dill farm.
Yeah. I thought it was a Camp Dill.
Yeah. Which is it?
No,
Which is it?
that's
Are you
over.
switching?
That's gone now.
That's
got
gone?
After the lawsuits. No, whenever you sent me a picture of it, I was curious because I'm one of the type of people who will go the extra length. You know, I will take out the chicken, I will air fry it, and then like microwave the other shit.
Wow, that is the extra length.
Wow.
You got to do it.
I actually can very much appreciate the fact that you care about having that experience, and I'm a person that really values my experience.
You do.
And I'm definitely putting that bitch in the microwave.
Really?
I am not working that hard. Absolutely not, because I don't like to cook. But I think you like to cook a little bit, don't you?
I do like to cook.
Makes
like
sense.
Cook.
Yeah, it's adding.
Even if you like to cook, you could cook for the amount of time that it takes to make a Hungry Man in the oven. You could cook a full version of that with your air fryer for less time.
I mean, you're you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong about that.
That's a good take. That's a good point.
To bread like 3 pieces of chicken, deep fry it. You make mashed potatoes. Is mashed potatoes you said come with it?
Yeah, mashed potatoes. Yeah.
Now I will say the one thing that I really like about
39 grams of protein. That's impressive.
It's all chicken, baby.
Holy
all
shit.
of it. Turns out the brownie made of chicken. But I will say one thing I really love about the brownie as the go-to dessert for microwavable meals is what are the key components of having a good brownie? You need it to be chocolatey, and you need it to be fudgy.
And you need it to be, in my opinion, hot. Like I like a hot.
And
brownie.
those are
hot
all
brownies.
things that are guaranteed with a brownie fucking microwavable meal. Like that's why you can never go wrong if you get a brownie as the dessert.
It's the safest choice, is what you're saying.
It is the safest choice.
Okay, fair
It
enough.
is. And you know, like I will say that microwavable brownies are like the TV dinner microwavable brownies are actually like pretty amazing.
They're pretty
in
good.
the
Yeah,
way
they're
that
good.
they
You're
that
not
they
wrong.
form up.
How
like
did we get here to this discovery, like in this consensus?
It's one of those things where like everybody knows this. Everybody knows that a microwavable brownie will always hit. You know, because it's like that fucking. I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but whenever I don't like whenever you get the applesauce in it. Have you ever had applesauce in your microwave?
I hate. So that's Yes, I know exactly what you mean when you get
Yeah,
like
no go.
the fucking stupid cinnamon
Yes.
brownie
Yes.
stuff for the dessert instead of a brownie.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I'm
hate
like,
that.
first
That's
off,
actually
I'm eating a microwavable meal. I don't need fruits or vegetables in this.
thank you. I'll even take vegetables, but I don't need any hot fruited desserts.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so glad that, dude. I'm so glad that you said that because I will actively like avoid like a TV dinner if it has an apple-based.
But you're not a
dessert.
fruit guy. You're
No,
not a
I'm
fruit
not.
guy.
That's true.
I'm
You don't
not.
like strawberries and stuff.
Yeah. You're not
That's
a fruit
true.
guy. And I mean Nora and I know Emily have both tried to like get you to eat fruit without you knowing and you've liked it. But I know that when you know it's fruit, you for sure don't like it. And that's the stance I can get deal done. All right.
Yeah, and honestly,
Yeah.
Bill Nation, do you really want this kind of pope? I don't think so. Vote
this,
Jordan.
this has been your Sunday sermon.
This is a
Vote Jordan.
fruitless pope.
Fruitless-
Fruitless pope. No funny business at Camp Dill.
All right, we're gonna get this show going.
It's a killer fucking conversation with just three cool guys talking about fried chicken. It's a killer fucking conversation, baby.
Well, welcome to the Cheesy Gordita Bunch podcast, the official podcast of the Taco Bell Cult Facebook group. I'm your host, Nick Ortiz, and with me, as always, my co-host, DJ Dill, Pope Dill, President Dill, Camp Leader Dill, Devin Hanley.
Hello, my friends.
And then, of course, the flaky crust on this KFC chicken pot pie, Jordan Craven's Krennic.
Heyo, what's up, everybody? Today, I am eating a KFC bowl, a famous bowl,
Ooh.
in
yeah.
honor of our fearless founder, Mr. Colonel Sanders.
Yep.
Holland.
Holland Colonel
Sanders.
Sanders.
Yeah. So I'll be eating this at least partial way through the episode.
On
but
this joyous occasion.
on this
I wonder,
occasion.
like, I wonder how Colonel Sanders would feel, like, being able to see into the future and be like, like, the KFC chicken bowl, like, that is my legacy.
He would
living
be
on,
pissed. He
like-
would be pissed. Oh my God, he would be so fucking mad.
You think so?
Oh,
About a bowl?
absolutely. I think about a lot of things. All right, getting to know old Colonel Sanders. I'll tell you, some of the stuff like that he had griped about, and as you see as we get into this episode, it probably wouldn't fly today either. Yeah, he's
Not knowing all of the information yet, I believe you.
It's like,
This
let
guy
me
so far
enjoy-
from the other two
let me
episodes.
enjoy my very last KFC bowl
now, I will say,
after the
Guy
boycott.
gets fucking pissed.
do not use the Cheesy Gordita Bunch for any assignments when it comes to historical accuracy. All right, I'm doing my best, but should you refer to the Cheesy Gordita Bunch or cite us as a resource or a source in any essay? Absolutely not.
No.
All right.
I'm giving us like a 60% truth.
I'd go
warning.
higher. I'd go about 85. But because it's not 100%, you can't. Because the thing is with Colonel Sanders, there is so much information out there about Colonel Sanders. So many mixed up dates. So many like different.
So 95, 99%.
I'd give us at least.
Because
in
I
the
was
90s.
going to say, don't discredit yourself, us.
So-
this
so-
is you're being too
There's
hard.
Fair enough.
truly an enigma. Like, you can't put your finger on him.
That's
Kind of a slippery goose.
It's kind of the
of a
ethos
guy.
of a CEO like this, right? You know what I mean? That's kind of
Right.
the
story.
the story that they tried to build. They tried to build with these CEOs and these founders. Because I mean, Roy Kroc, he wasn't even the one who created fucking McDonald's, and Glenn Bell sure as hell didn't create the taco. You know what I mean? So like the information that we get. I'm using accurate information that I have. Now, again, should you use it in trivia? Absolutely. You're going to look cool as fuck doing it.
I think what this smells like is the Belluminati at work.
Yep.
I smell.
If you're
I smell a conspiracy. I smell fried chicken. and I think that these brands, these organizations, they care about their brand. I mean, so much.
Yeah,
they care about their brand more than most things, which is good and bad, right?
For sure.
And to me, these founders are probably all really, really. I mean, they were products of their time, so they were probably intensely racist.
No, for sure,
right? Mm-hmm. I mean, just probably like very insensitive people.
Oh yeah,
on some levels, and Big Bell can't have the truth.
Very true.
Of G. Bell himself.
Yeah.
Going around, circulating in the news, they can't have it. So Belluminati's got to be shutting it down, creating
absolutely, dude. What did
creating conflicts of storylines, timelines that don't match up? I mean, there's a deeper story here, and we're gonna find it.
Absolutely. Was Colonel Sanders probably at some like Eyes Wide Shut level sex parties in Kentucky?
Probably.
Can we say no? Can anybody prove he wasn't?
I guess with that logic, you're not wrong. But before we
go into this episode with a skeptical mind, Bell Nation. Be willing to leave at the door what your preconceived perceptions and notions might have been.
Yeah, there you go. Please do that. But before we get into Colonel Sanders himself, we have some news.
Live from the Cheesy Gordita Bunch newsroom in Austin, Texas, this is Talk O' the Town with your hosts, Jordan, Nick, and Devin.
So on June 19th, so this past month, it was announced that Mike King will be retiring and stepping down as CEO from Taco Bell. And he was a CEO since 2019. So he brought us through the pandemic, and he is passing the sombrero onto Sean Tresvant. Tresvant? Jordy, what do you think? How does that pronounce?
It's probably Tresvant.
Oh, okay. All right, Tresvant.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Sean Tresvant is a businessman from Washington. He received his master's from Washington State University. Go Cougars! Woo! In communication and media studies, and he got an MBA in business administration management from Seattle University. So to say the least, he knows what the fuck he's talking about, at least diploma-wise.
On paper.
Yes,
I
paper.
would trust him.
Yeah. Well, so he actually started his career in PepsiCo in 2000. He ended up working for Nike, where he earned the title of the Chief Marketing Officer for Jordan. Jordan, you know.
Oh,
that's a big deal.
There's that trust bridge building right now.
There it is. And in 2021, he was named the Chief Brand Officer and Strategy Officer for Taco Bell. So basically, he's not really shy to hard work, like he's willing to put himself out there and do the damn thing.
This guy's probably got a pretty big ego, I think. Like, yeah, I was over at Nike, and then Taco Bell scooped in and picked me up.
Yeah, because everybody wants to work for Taco Bell instead of Nike.
Yeah, no big
Jordan,
deal.
Jordan at that. Yeah.
Multi-billion-dollar Jordan brand. I mean, that shit is insane. He makes I think Jordan, just from royalties every year, makes I think the number is between $200 and $300 million on royalties.
Damn! How much do you make from Jordans?
$2 or $3, a year. Nothing crazy.
Wow, they use your name and everything.
I know. You think they would be more mindful of it, but
yeah. Well, reflecting on his vision for Taco Bell, Sean said, quote, "The love our fans and team members have for Taco Bell is extraordinary and means we're in a unique position to push the limits on culture and become a brand that inspires and enables the world to live más." Inspiring word. Inspiring
fireworks.
vision.
Fireworks in the background after that.
These are first
round of applause.
These are first good statements. I think no mistakes so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope not.
It's only
what
been
I'm
like a
hoping
week.
for is a Taco Bell Jordan.
That would be fucking.
Oh my god.
Could you
awesome.
imagine some dunks, some fucking what do they had?
I'm surprised you haven't done that already.
I know. I was
I'm
gonna
surprised
say
they haven't done that already either.
they have
actually, so.
Jarritos. You know, those just
dude,
came out.
You seen those?
Oh fuck yeah, they're dope.
Super hard to get. I couldn't even get any.
Oh really?
Yeah, I didn't.
They
get
have
some.
Harito shoes.
Why'd you say
Yeah,
it like
where,
that?
Where are you from, Devin?
Why'd you
I'm just
say it
kidding.
like that?
What? What?
Jarrito shoes.
Jarritos.
That's what I said. They're called Haritos.
No,
the
fucking
soda,
Jarritos.
right?
Peggy Hill over here.
Bro. Those shoes are
I
so
could have
cool.
called it. I could have called it Jarritos. I could have gone. That was my best attempt
Might
at
as
doing
well.
that.
Fair. You know what? Fair enough. We'll
Yeah.
we're not going to reach out to your Spanish teacher mother for this one. But
She did good. Hey, mom.
But yeah, no, I'm really surprised they haven't done anything like that either. I mean, I feel like Taco Bell and the brand itself is like ripe to be turned into some shoes. I'm saying that as Jordan's wearing fucking Taco Bell Crocs.
Let's get it.
Yeah, yeah. But are y'all hopeful for this? What do y'all think about this? The changing of hands. I mean, he's the first black CEO that Taco Bell's had, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
The first thing I've been thinking about this, and there's more to say, and I
Yeah,
think
we
we're
can
gonna
touch on it more for
we'll
sure.
do another episode on this, but just as first thoughts, I was looking at the post that somebody had. Wherever I saw it, I probably saw it on Instagram because that's the one I'm addicted to.
Yes.
And so that's where I think I saw the post first. I may have seen it somewhere else, but nonetheless, wherever I saw it, I just started to look through the comments out of curiosity, and somebody had posted something to the effect of like, why do we like? Because there's a lot of people saying like, he's a black man, right? So there's a lot of people saying things like, talking about his race in the comments.
Okay.
And somebody said like, do we care? Whatever they said was posed. It made me feel like they basically said, why do we even care? Like, why are we even talking about that part of it?
Okay.
Like, why should we care? And I actually replied to them. And I said,
Under the official cheesy gordita bunch.
and I actually said, we do care. We care a lot. It was something like that because we do care. It is good to see, in my opinion, as a person that is the biracial myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Brock.
Yes. Many people confuse us. And I think we should care, right? I think we do care. I think many of us do care. I think that it's not over caring about proper representation and caring about, a group of marginalized people that are seeing progress in a community or in a society that doesn't always show it, have it, celebrate it.
For sure.
Yes, we do care. Yeah. And that's all I have to say for now. But that was one of my first reactions to seeing it.
No, well said. And I think we can all agree too that like this has been the man in charge since the show began. Like this has been a big couple of years at Taco Bell. So I think that this was like an interesting time to be at the helm of Taco Bell. So
yeah,
I think we should-
agreed.
I mean, one thing too with Sean Transvant coming in, he's been on the fucking payroll of Big Bell since 2021, and he's been the chief brand officer. And we look at the brand between now and 2021. They've done a lot of really great shit. They've done a lot of really exciting stuff. They've done a lot to bring in like different culture, to bring in a black artist like Lil Nas X and Doja Cat, and trying to intersect these
Jack
cultures.
Harlow and
Of course,
Wait,
famous,
that was a KFC one.
famous
Yeah.
black artist Jack Harlow.
yeah.
But I do think that they've done a lot to try to bring that type of intersectionality between the two cultures, and I think that's awesome because also one thing that we've seen, granted this is part of more of like the food innovation, is those more authentic flavors from Taco Bell.
it's been fun.
Yeah, which is cool. So I'm excited to see what happens. Now, brown faces in high places and mean nothing if there's not good representation at the bottom and the people who are doing the work, you know what I mean, are represented well. So I'm excited to see what happens. Hopefully this means Big Bell's is going into a better future, you know what I mean, considering. And I really can't wait to talk about more of this because we're going to do a whole episode on this, and we're probably going to do a whole episode on Sean Transvan. See what's up with see what's up with the history and see what we can't if we can't get him to listen to this episode, like we got Renee Pisciotti to listen to his episode.
My guy Renee, message me back, boy.
Yeah. You may still be weirded out by us, Renee, but it's okay because we're still watching you.
We're still
We
friends on-
remember you.
We're still mutuals on Instagram. Bell Nation, please follow us on Instagram. You know, we put out some really good stuff. We obviously, I mean, you're listening here. Share it to your friends. Follow the Taco Bell Cult Facebook group. We last episode we had a really great time talking to some Taco Bell influencers, some folks who are really passionate about the stuff, as well as some fellow cultists. So check that out, and of course, follow
But please don't ever believe that this is actual real information or news.
No, believe it.
This is
No,
just
I'm
a
gonna
this is just a
believe it.
disclaimer. This is
You
just
need
a
to
disclaimer. We have to say that now.
Yes, we have to say that
Now, apparently.
that
Yeah.
that everything we say from here on out is 100% real. All right, everything
Yep.
we say is 100%
Everything.
credible.
100% Camp Dill approved.
These lessons have been brought to you by Camp Dill. Don't bring your kids. Now, where we left off is the Colonel was finding success and thinking about the fate of KSE once he's finally kicked the big old bucket. Now, comes in 29-year-old John Brown Jr. Now, John Brown Jr., he is the son of a congressman, John Brown Sr. Now, Jr. found his talent in business in college, where he was making a grip selling Encyclopedia Britannica sets. And then, of course, he moved on, practiced law with his dad for about a year and a half. But he didn't like it. You know, he wasn't making very much money from it.
Not like those encyclopedias. Let
It's
me
like
tell you.
I was just ready hand over fist to jump right back into the encyclopedia game.
Oh, man. Now, from there, he decided that he wanted to become an entrepreneur. You know, he looked into many different ventures. Eventually, everything from car washes, detergents, restaurants, a lot of shit like that. Now, during this time, he got his wife involved with managing a barbecue restaurant, and upon seeing the success, he was convinced of the financial potential of the fast food industry. Because remember back then, I mean, all the fast food restaurants were all like mom and pop. You know, it wasn't so much so fast food, but more of like diner restaurants.
Right.
Yeah. So seeing the potential, he was like, "Fuck yeah! How do I get involved?" So in 1963, during a political breakfast, John Brown met the Colonel. Now they talked about selling the Colonel's chicken at John Brown's chain of barbecue restaurants, but that's kind of where the conversation fell off from there, you know. But John Brown, he was tenacious as ever, so he, in 1964, persuades Jack Massey, a doo-doo capital venture capitalist, into buying KFC for a whopping $2 million, which is equivalent to about $19 million in today's money.
Sheesh. So this was the first sale of KFC.
Yes, the first sale of KFC where the Colonel does not own it. The Colonel is only a brand ambassador.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Now, initially, the Colonel turned down his offer because, remember, the Colonel really loved his restaurant. He really loved his recipe. I mean, he went to lengths to make sure people didn't find out his 11 herbs and spices.
I got the recipe tattooed on the inside of my butt cheeks. Now, nobody else knows this. But I'll tell you what, there's a secret to the Cheesy Gordita Bunch. That those original recipes written down on the crease of my buttocks. And it is top secret, only for this program, only for our listeners now who are tuning in.
This is why you can't go to Camp Dill, all right? He's going to convince you to look at this asshole.
You can't sell with that level of dedication.
I mean, you're not wrong.
When you're that committed.
And, you know, the
nothing's
crazy part,
gonna get in between you and and your dream there. So
he's like, I got my recipe tattooed on my sandwich.
sometimes you got to keep the doors closed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the Colonel
Yep.
went to extreme lengths. Not only did he tattoo the recipe on his fucking ass cheeks, but he would, whenever he would sell to franchise owners,
I can't.
he would make a batch of seasoning himself and sell it to them. So he wasn't selling them all 11 herbs and spices like individually. He was selling them
Now-
whole batches of the seasoning.
Now, just to throw them off, anytime they read the tattoo, I throw a little sprinkle on them. and they say, "What's that sprinkle on me?" I say, "Don't worry, that's a little bit more what the Colonel's got for you."
It's a little bit of the Colonel's gravy. Another thing that we forgot to mention too, when he was doing these herbs and spices, and when he would end up mass producing them, he would have two different companies making one part of the seasoning and another company making the other part of the seasoning.
Oh, so they didn't know it
So
either.
no one could never get the complete recipe.
That's so fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That is
Genuinely,
amazing.
that is so smart. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, again, the Colonel really, really, really loved his food. Like, he thought he knew what he had was gold. I know I've said this in the last two parts of the series, but he really loved his shit. I mean, so much so that he made John Brown promise that he would never tamper with his recipe, and he would maintain a high degree of quality control if he were to sell his restaurant to them.
Interesting.
Yeah, and John Brown agreed. John Brown made that promise to the.
I mean,
to the
he
Colonel.
better. To get the full recipe, you got to check out both sides. Is it-
Imagine
is it-
like imagine like how much responsibility that would be too, to just like hold half of the
Fuck yeah.
of the recipe. Just like, I trust you this much. Like
Yeah.
that's a fucking lot of responsibility.
but not enough to give it all to you though.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
trust you
I
this
trust
much,
you this
but
much.
not enough to give you the whole recipe. Fair enough.
Now, Massey, whenever they bought the company, the investment group, they changed the headquarters from Kentucky to Nashville, Tennessee. And the Colonel was quoted as saying, quote, "This ain't no goddamn Tennessee fried chicken, no matter what some slick silk-suited son of a bitch says."
This guy don't fuck around, dude. I fucking love
Nope.
this dude.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Colonel, whenever he smelled bullshit in the air, he was quick to call it out. Quick. Now, John Brown was motivated because the Colonel did not have a sales team. And if you remember, he went from going business to businesses coming to him in order to sell his KFC.
A one-man show.
Yeah, it was a one-man. Well, him, his wife, and some like other folks. But yeah, essentially, it was a one-man show, and they weren't prioritizing sales over the product.
Which is in the formulation stages. Sometimes you really have to do that because you got to get shit right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got, because if it's wrong, even if you make the sales, it won't last and it'll crumble. So if you get it right first and then you make the sales, your foundation is proper, right?
That's
And you can
interesting
build
you
on it.
say that. That's interesting you say that.
Yeah. No, I was gonna agree with Jordan and say that I really think that that Colonel Sanders, and probably one of the reasons why he's such a significant sort of like cultural icon, is because he represents that motif of like the kind of like good hometown guy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
who was also like a very, very shrewd, like everything that he did was like very good. He was a good businessman. He was very good at what he did.
Yeah.
Even if it was not great all the time.
So he was a great chef. He was an okay businessman. Yeah, that's what the reason why I say that is just because he really knew what he had. Now, he didn't push sales, and because of that, KFC it kind of plateaued until they got this business, until they got this investment group to invest in them. And once they did, I mean, they had the resources to make business explode, and that's exactly what happened. This is when KFC really started to change. Now, with the new owners, gone was the diner aesthetic envisioned by the Colonel, and came in this new fast food takeout model of KFC. Now, that wasn't the only change either. They gave KFC a complete facelift. The investment group, they repainted all the restaurants, giving them the distinct red and white pattern. The group opened up 1,500 new restaurants, including locations in all 50 states and several international locations.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now,
That's an explosion right there.
1,000%.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, I don't know do we know the number before this?
It's in the last episode.
Okay, I forgot. Yeah, but to 1,500 is, I mean,
That's on top of the restaurants that the Colonel had.
Yeah,
they
I mean-
opened up an additional 1,500 new restaurants.
I mean, I barely have $1,500. You know what I mean?
Fucking yeah,
So-
maybe not on you right now. But the Colonel went from the owner and operator to a salaried brand ambassador making $40K a year. Now, the initial deal did not include like was it the Canadian restaurants? It didn't include some franchises in the UK, in Florida, in Utah, Montana, which had already been sold to like other people. So they were like maintaining like KFC and those different like vicinities. But according to the Colonel's nephew, because the Colonel like retained control of those Canadian restaurants, he was able to gain Canadian citizenship. So apparently, the fucking Colonel's also a Canadian.
Where am I from, you ask? Oh, I'm from right here in the city of Toronto. Born and bred right here in mid-city Toronto. Just a Canadian from my tips to my toes.
From my tips to my toes.
KFC, Canadian Fried Chicken.
Oh, God. It's just fucking poutine. But
It's got maple syrup. It's maple syrup. The logo is a fucking elk.
Oh, God.
A moose, you know.
Now, the Colonel remained the symbol of KFC. He traveled 200,000 miles a year, stopping at restaurants, making various film and TV appearances. Again, you know, he was the first celebrity chef, and this is how he put his face out there. There's some good and bad takes, you know what I mean, with the fact that the Colonel's so open about being part of this brand, but also making this many appearances. Because when things are going great for KFC, things are going great. But when Colonel disagrees with the way the restaurant's going,
Oh, he's tweeting about it.
oh yeah, shit's popping off.
He's going full Kanye.
Oh.
on with that shit. Basically, that's what I can imagine.
Now,
Exactly.
yeah, when you come up with that nonsense and you start making a mockery of my business here, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to step up to you with a lead pipe and I'm going to smack you right upside the face.
There's no way Colonel could get away being Canadian. Not nice enough.
No, not
nice enough.
No.
Nah.
Now,
Well,
John,
when you start pushing my buttons, I can be a little bit of a prickly paw, if you know what I'm saying.
Now, John Brown was very confident in the Colonel's branding, like the Colonel himself, so much so that in 1969 they opened Kentucky Roast Beef as well as the Colonel Sanders Inn.
This sounds like a disaster already.
This-
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he was on those interviews talking
We
mad shit.
We should do an
The-
episode. We should legitimately do an episode on Kentucky Roast Beef because there's some
Yes.
information out there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
run
So-
it. I'm,
so-
I'm
I
running
was
it.
about to say, like, sorry, I just revealed that I didn't actually read this week's prompt.
We can
but,
still cut it
that
out.
is
Yeah,
cr-
right here.
No,
that is crazy. The Kentucky fried roast beef.
Yeah, so he sold
That's-
roast beef, he sold ham. You know, some of the old his old diners like really like the shit that he sold a lot of. You know, back in the day before he was able to
Yeah.
make it to where you can cook a piece of chicken in 9 minutes.
Instead
like-
of 90. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this was the time where he really where they really saw the Colonel's branding as like something they can capitalize on, but these two ventures quickly closed.
Can't wait to talk about these.
Yeah, they didn't last very long. We will get into it later, probably in another episode. But this was, you know, the beginning of the end of KSC as the Colonel knew it.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, at this time, the Colonel retained a lot of control, a lot of influence over the franchise owners. And to be frank, franchise owners were pretty fucking afraid of the Colonel.
Shit, I would be.
Yeah, because
He shot a man.
yeah, he fucking got a man sent to prison.
Everybody loves when I come and check out their franchise restaurant, except when I come with my whipping rod. And then
My
everybody's
whipping
attitude changed real quick
Now,
for the better.
Now the thing is like when you think about it though, like whenever your boss goes to your fucking place of work, you're like, why is this person here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can totally understand the anxiety behind it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But all Colonel Sanders had to do every fucking year was travel around and be a brand ambassador. So there was a good chance that he was gonna show up in your restaurant one day.
Of course.
Yeah, because again, all he was doing was fucking driving around. Now, when he would visit these KFCs across the country, he would go and he would taste like their fried chicken. He'd taste their gravy. He'd taste all of this shit. And if it wasn't his original recipe, he'd cuss the motherfuckers out.
I'm with the Colonel on this shit. I'm 100% with the Colonel on this shit. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? It's in the paperwork, baby.
It is in the paperwork.
There's got to be contracts. 1,500 locations? I don't think so. Got to be in the paperwork.
No, it was totally in the paperwork, and that's why the colonel felt like he had the right to go over there and say some shit because it was his face on it. They were selling his food with his face on it, and he can't put a seal of like approval on it if it wasn't the recipe that he had come up with.
I'd be pissed.
Imagine that that's just like a point in history that's so important and so underappreciated. Like, just imagine that you're like an incompetent KFC worker in like the 70s and you're just doing your job half-assedly, and then all of a sudden you look out the window of KFC and the fucking colonel shows up in his white Cadillac. He just gets out. He's got like a fucking big old chicken ring on his finger with a cane, and he starts walking towards the door like, holy shit, the fucking colonel is here.
God.
And
Dude,
he's
I'm
going to
too
be
stoned for this.
trying to taste every last goddamn ingredient in this gravy that I made in 10 minutes because I was late. Like,
That's basically Devin's going from his experience of he was a KFC employee in 1970.
When he was. Okay,
When-
yeah.
Now,
But just imagine like you're doing bad at your job, and then fucking Colonel Sanders shows up to
God, that would suck, dude. That would suck so
review-
much.
yeah.
Because when I worked in fast food, I'll tell you, man, I smoked so much weed. Like I worked at a Quiznos when I was like just out of high school, and my manager would we would legit go in the back. We'd smoke a lot of weed. We'd eat whatever sandwiches we could make, and then we would go over there and probably fuck up someone else's sandwich. And I could not imagine if the CEO of Quiznos secret shopped my Quiznos right then and there. I would have you know what I mean?
Mortified.
At least you would have had your manager to back you up, though. That's like the
It's
best.
just as high as me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thrown
Yeah.
me under the bus so quickly. Yeah.
I told them. I told them to do it.
I tried to send him home. But by 1970, John Brown had become the chairman of the investment group.
This motherfucker is moving up.
Oh, yeah. He opened up nearly 3,000 restaurants in this time.
That's a lot, man.
Oh, yeah. There was one year, 1968, where he opened up 850 restaurants just that year alone.
Dude, 3,000? I don't even have $3,000.
Shut the fuck up. Now, oftentimes, the expansion was seen as chaotic and poorly executed. Then regional manager Dave Thomas complained that the company had become too corporate, man. And that
corporate man.
yeah, man, this fucking company's too corporate,
Man. Fuck that, dude. I'm gonna. We'll cut that out.
And he also went on to say that John Brown lacked the motivational skills as chairman. One senior member even described the international strategy as, quote, throwing some mud against the map on the wall and hoping some of it sticks. Now, this was a really poor strategy because this caused KFC to lose $400,000 in Japan alone.
That's almost a quarter of the initial purchase.
Yes.
That's a lot, man.
Oh, yeah.
They were trying. They were trying to apply this like fucking stupid old school Western. Like, what was the expression again?
Throw some mud at the wall? Or
Well, we're just gonna throw a little mud at the wall and see what sticks. Yeah, that sounds like a really, really great business philosophy down here in Kentucky.
no,
Like that just is some terrible, terrible Western
Oh, it was.
wisdom there.
Yeah, I mean, in 2 weeks, so they only prepped the restaurant for about 2 weeks before they opened, and they wasted a lot more chicken than they sold.
That sucks.
Marking the company's first loss.
How does that even happen? How do you waste more chicken than you sell? What nobody could figure out like the gravy.
No.
Like nobody could get the seasonings right. Like
No, actually, it turns out as they were trying to feed them raw chicken as like sushi. No, I'll take that one out. No worries. No worries. I'm gonna take that one out.
Add some crickets is what you do.
Now, just 7 short years after buying KFC, the investment group sold KFC to Hublin Inc., a Connecticut company. Shout out Connecticut CT, baby.
Oh, Hublin, what's up?
A Connecticut company who is known for distributing large batches of martini and Manhattan cocktail mixes. Now,
yeah, buddy.
now the investment group sold KFC to them for $285 million, which is about $2.24 billion in 2023.
Man, that's crazy. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, those are good numbers. I mean, obviously, that's pretty impressive.
I mean, just think about the amount of company they were able to create between 1964
Yeah.
and 1971.
They multiplied their initial investment by 142.5% Like,
Yeah.
is that right? No, 142.5 times, not percent. 142.5 times the initial investment. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, doubling your money in business is like hard. 145 times.
I guess you're not wrong.
That's fucking insane. Because they spent $2 million, right? It's $285 million was the sale. That's 7 years after the initial purchase. So this is the second sale, right?
Yep.
It's fucking bonkers.
Now, though the original recipe was why people really love KFC, according to capitalism, businesses need to change and grow in order to stay on top of innovation. Now, capitalism forces you to look at ways to cut costs while charging the same or more for a product, and the new owners did just that. So, unlike John Brown, the new owners did not make a deal with the Colonel saying that they wouldn't change his recipes. And like changing, they did just that. They fucking changed his
Sons
recipes.
of bitches.
Yeah, so first, in 1972, Hublin introduced extra fried chicken. In 1973, they introduced barbecue spare ribs, and that was the fucking final straw for the Colonel.
You had enough.
Oh, yeah, that same year, the Colonel would attempt to open Claudia Sanders' The Colonel's Lady Dinner House. What a fucking mouthful. Like, seriously, like, what a terrible name. But Hublin sued to get this thing fucking closed. And in return, the Colonel sued Hublin for alleged misuse of his image in promoting products that he did not help develop, a.k.a. the extra fried fucking chicken.
What is that one, by the
I'll
way?
tell you, if you plan on rearranging my recipe, my spices, I'm gonna go over there to court and I'm gonna rearrange your face, good sir.
Good sir.
So what is this extra fried chicken? Does it mean that there's more chicken on the plate, or is
No.
it fried twice or something?
Fried twice.
I'm sure it's fried twice. Yeah.
Okay.
But there was a pork short rib, there was a pork shortage at this time, and that pushed costs higher than customers would want to pay for fucking for pork. So they ultimately discontinued it. But they did settle these suits as well. So they settled out of court for $1 million with the Colonel, and they allowed the restaurant to go ahead under the name Claudia Sanders Dinner House.
This motherfucker won twice?
Yes, this motherfucker won twice.
He won both? That's
The
crazy.
Colonel don't miss.
That's you fucking right.
The Colonel does not miss.
Under
Don't miss.
controversy.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
But as you can see with this, they had bad blood. There was a lot of bad blood between the Colonel and Hublin. Now, one of the major changes was to the Colonel's gravy. The gravy was so important to the Colonel. He once said that the gravy was so good that, quote, it'll make you throw away the darn chicken and just eat the gravy, which is pretty good. You know
Great
what I mean?
advice.
Dude, that gravy's busting.
Great
Let's not get it
advice.
twisted. Yeah, the gravy hitting.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's definitely the healthy alternative to KFC. Just go.
Well, according to the new owners, Hublin, they said that it would take a fucking Rhodes Scholar to make the gravy. The gravy is fantastic. It's amazing. It's delicious. But fuck, it takes so long to make it. So they changed the recipe so it could be cheaper and easier for people to make. And according to the Colonel, it really showed. This was when the Colonel started regretting his decision in selling KFC, and his relationships with the new owners fucking really spoiled at this point.
Yeah, it's
So-
apparent.
This is really sad. So nobody that we know or nobody from our generation has ever really actually had true KFC Colonel inspired KFC.
Well, I mean,
It's-
you have, but Nick and I haven't.
yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Well, and honestly, there's actually a restaurant. There's still the I think it's still Claudia Sanders Diner House where you can get the original recipe KFC there. I think you can get it there, and then you can also get it at like Harmon's in Utah. You know, remember his first franchise owner, Pete Harmon. He still has like original recipe shit going down in Utah, so you can still like get like original recipe. But is it true to Colonel Sanders? Who knows? You know, like is it truly like his recipe? That's what they say, but again, who knows?
So he never really changed the chicken recipe, but the gravy recipe changed.
Everything changed, my friend. Everything changed. So now the Colonel began to complain to the media about the decline in quality, saying in the Louisville Courier Journal, quote, "My God, that gravy is horrible. They buy tap water for 15 to 20 cents, 1,000 gallons, and then they mix it in with flour and starch, and they end up with pure wallpaper paste. And another thing, the new crispy recipe is nothing in the world but a damn fried dough ball stuck on some chicken."
Oh man, he is not happy.
No, he fucking hates it.
Yeah.
He hates it. And so that's what I think. So when they talk about the extra fried, I think they're just double frying it and probably adding like more flour on it to like help it get more crisp.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Colonel fucking
So like
hated this
extra
shit.
crispy chicken. This is just extra crispy chicken. What we think of as extra crispy chicken.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
I just looked up the Claudia Sanders dinner house.
Yeah.
That shit looks like the fucking Pantheon.
Really? Let me
I
see.
swear, look.
Oh shit.
Look at that fucking.
You mean a plantation house? That's what the fuck that looks like. It looks like a fucking plantation house.
It's you know what really gives it the plantation? It's the rocking chairs in front. It's the white rocking chairs in front. Yeah, that really. But it looks like it has pillars and shit like the Pantheon
yes, that looks like
from ancient Rome.
Look
Look at that shit.
Yeah, where is that?
It's in,
It's in
Shelby
Corbin.
County, Kentucky.
Okay, all right, cool. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll have to definitely go when we start our tour. But this outburst prompted KFC franchise owners to unsuccessfully sue the Colonel for libel in 1975. So that just begs the question: were they really just fucking fried ball? You know what I mean? Fried dough balls on,
Yeah,
on
how
some
valid?
chicken?
How valid was what
Yeah.
the Colonel was saying, basically?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
But Hublin had no experience in operating a fast food chain, and their overconfidence led to KFC's failure in their overseas market. Now, the Colonel, he was pretty relentless in his public attacks against Hublin. He would do it pretty regularly, saying that they didn't know what they were doing and that it was, quote, downright embarrassing to have his image associated with their poor quality food.
It's like they would walk down the street and they would find not to be crass here, just pieces of road apples. You know what I'm talking about? Poopies, horse turds, and they turn them into little chicken nuggets and they'd send them to the public. And the public would eat them and they end up murdering a bunch of them locals out there.
Morden. Now,
No, wait. I think it's so funny. Like, he would publicly attack Hublin, like, on the regular. Like, oh, good morning tweet. Hublin sucks.
Yeah,
Just so
fuck
you know,
Hublin.
Yeah. Yeah, good morning.
good morning for everyone but Hublin.
Oh, hell's that extra crispy tweet and hurt you?
Now, at this point in time, things weren't going well. The company had 800 stores that were pretty unprofitable
Fuck.
by 1978.
Could you imagine having 800 unprofitable stores?
Yeah, I mean, that would fucking suck.
I have,
Nope.
like, I just can't, like, even fathom that. Like, I have a hard time, like, imagining.
Oh, believe me, so did the Colonel. Yeah, the Colonel was not having it at all. But
Fucking
Hublin did hire a dude named Michael A. Miles to manage the business, and he actually became CEO. And he brought KFC back to basics. He was like, we need to start
man.
thinking about, we need to start breaking it down and seeing where our faults are. And he even managed to lure the Colonel back, and all he did was fucking listen to the Colonel's recommendations. Turns out, you know what I mean?
Surprise.
Yeah, turns out when you listen to the Colonel, things start looking fucking up. And subsequently, this resulted in 30 months of increased sales. So KFC was on the up and up again because they relied back onto the Colonel. They listened to the Colonel. The Colonel was able to bring them to that quality. But unfortunately, in June of 1980, the Colonel was diagnosed with acute leukemia. And later that year, the Colonel would pass away in Louisville, Jewish hospital of pneumonia at the age of 90. At the ripe old age of 90.
My boy,
Jesus,
he,
Yeah.
had, he had more
That's
juice
not-
in him, that's for sure. Maybe a little gravy,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the Colonel was very active up into the months leading to his passing, even appearing at an event about a month before his death. Now, his body was laid in state in the rotunda of the Kentucky State Capitol, and they would later hold an open casket funeral at the KFC headquarters in Louisville, Kentucky, where around 1,200 people would attend to pay respect to the icon.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a lot, dude.
Oh, yeah.
1,200's
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, I think,
I'll be lucky if I get two.
seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have $1,200.
Now, by the time of the Colonel's death, there was an estimated 5,000 KFCs in 48 countries. And, you know,
God, that's so many, dude.
oh yeah, dude, like I'm telling you, the Colonel really was on the up and up. He was able to create this franchise with his own blood, sweat, and tears. Like, legitimately, you know, one thing that we can take away from this entire series is that it doesn't matter your age. You know, it really matters about your commitment, what you believe in. You know, if you have a product that you really believe in, that you feel so passionately about, you can get it to the point to where it can be extremely successful, to where by the time you die, you're disappointed in the product itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's, this is a good story.
What is
Yeah.
it?
It's a really, really inspiring way to look at that.
Now, by the time of the Colonel's passing, PepsiCo had already acquired Taco Bell and Pizza Hut, and they had expressed interest in buying KFC. And that's where we're going to pick up on next episode. We're going to talk about the
part 4.
acquisition. No, this is a whole new series.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to talk
the
about
Colonel's
KFC.
gone now.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about KFC itself. We're going to talk about its different marketing campaigns. We'll talk about all of the different times they got different actors to play the Colonel, which I don't feel is disrespectful, but a lot of people feel is really disrespectful.
No, I mean part of
Yeah.
the part of the allure is this man and his face
Yeah.
and his image. We have to perpetuate the image. I certainly and
Especially
surely
if
they
a
could-
company owns the right to your image. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's their responsibility,
And
actually. So
I
don't think
feel
it's
I
one-
feel like the Colonel probably looking back on that somewhere and enjoying it. You know what I mean? I feel like the Colonel would have approved having his image and his likeness replicated.
What do you think the
by
What
other-
do you think the Colonel would say about that, Devin?
I think they're gonna say, well, they're getting Norm Macdonald to play me. Then I'm okay with that. That man's a comic genius. R.I.P. as well, my friend.
Oh man, but yeah, that's where we're gonna pick back up. You know, we're gonna pick back up with the Colonel, but what KFC is like beyond the Colonel. And you know, the crazy part is when I was watching and reading about this, we may never get to a point to where KFC was at its highest quality with the Colonel, but apparently the highest demand for KFC in the time that KFC was the most popular was between 2002 and 2005. That was
totally
the peak KFC right there.
That sounds sounds right.
that totally makes sense.
Yeah, but
And that's when I was very into KFC. Was probably in that years.
oh yeah,
years back.
I have a video, like a home video where we're eating KFC. You know what I mean? There's a big ass bucket of KFC. I'm like, oh fuck, the original, the way it looks. And there was even some they tried to rebrand KFC because KFC is notoriously one of the most unhealthy fast food restaurants.
Oh, that's funny.
So whenever the trans fat trend craze started happening in the early 2000s, KFC tried to rebrand as Kitchen Fresh Chicken.
Oh, yeah, and everybody was like, yeah, fucking right. Bullshit. What a bunch of bullshit that was.
Oh yeah. There's a bunch of crazy shit that happened. But yeah, I can't wait to get
Colonel
into
turned
it.
over on his grave when he hears that shit.
You spit in my face. But Bell Nation.
If anybody brings a mandarin orange within 100 feet of this, and tries to put some walnuts in it and call it a salad, then I'm rising from the grave and I'm possessing their soul for eternity.
Oh man. Well, thank y'all so much for listening to our series about Colonel Sanders. It's been a really fun time learning about this dude. I think that the Colonel is legitimately a badass. I do think he's
Same.
more badass than Glenn Bell, it sounds like, unfortunately.
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think
Agreed.
the
Doesn't
Colonel,
take away from who we are and what we are. In
No, it
relation to Taco
doesn't.
Bell. But I agree.
it doesn't. It doesn't take it away. And it was really awesome to really dive in and learn about the Colonel, because he has been an icon forever, and to really find out the ins and outs about his life and see how he really lived. It's been fucking cool, man. It's been cool. It's like learning about I don't know, someone else I care about. Someone else that's cool. Can't think of anybody right now.
That was really insightful there. That description.
No, I'm inspired. I'm inspired. Are we saying our goodbyes?
Oh yes, we are. Sorry, that was my goodbye.
Okay.
Yeah, follow me also on Instagram. Cheesy G Nick, or maybe Cheesy Gordita Nick. Either way, you could also follow me on Xbox Live at Cheesy G Nick. I play DMZ a lot of the Call of Duty DMZ. They just opened up the new servers the old servers for like Modern Warfare 2 from like Xbox 360 and shit. Yeah, so your boy's been playing that a lot. So yeah, hit me up, Devin or Dill.
Hey, what's up? It's another sultry evening here at Camp Dill. We're shutting things down. Make sure to turn your nightlight off if you go to sleep in your tent.
That's so good.
Follow Devin P. Hanley. Follow the Tall Boys. Good night.
he just went.
Oh, fuck, these motherfuckers are ridiculous. I'm just signing off. Thank you for listening. It's your
All right.
boy Holla.
Say Baja Blast. This show is made possible thanks to listeners like you. For more great Cheesy Gordita Network content, follow us on social media or go to cheesygorditanetwork.com to stay up to date. Thank you for your support, and stay Baja blessed.